going to give a brief intro, and also I welcome the other panelists, Dr. Disha Rathod.
Thank you.
Dr. Ashani.
Dr. Ashya. So I welcome all the other panelists for this wonderful guest lecture. Before that, I'll give a small intro about Professor Dr. Natarajan for the welfare of our students and postgraduates. And Professor Dr. Natarajan is a well-known, most well-known person in the field of ophthalmology in India as well as abroad. For us, he is considered to be a Sachin Tendulkar, how Sachin Tendulkar is to the Indian cricket team. Dr. Natarajan is for ophthalmology, like superstar Rajinikanth is for Tamil cinema. We consider Dr. Natarajan as for ophthalmology because of his dynamic personality. So I'm going to give just a brief intro. I cannot give entire intro because if I start doing that, then the entire session will be his whole introduction. So I'll just give a brief introduction about Professor Dr. Natarajan. So Professor Dr. Natarajan is a Padmashri awardee, has dedicated his life for bringing back light for over 36 years, and he has performed over 60,000 exclusive VR surgeries. It's a milestone which is achieved. I don't think so anyone has achieved this milestone. He has trained more than 68 VR surgeons around the globe, not only in India, but also around the globe. So he's a global personality, not only an Indian icon. So he's the immediate past president of AOS. AOS is nothing but All India Ophthalmic Society. He was the immediate past president. So till last year, he was the president of AOS. And he's also a board of trustee for International Council of Ophthalmology, ICO. So ICO is an academic body which is governing the ophthalmology. It's conducting examinations. So he's one of the board of trustees for ICO. And he's a coordinator for World Forum of Ophthalmology Journals. He is invited to teach various prestigious universities, not only in India, but also across the globe. And he has published hundreds of international journals. He is having credits of publishing hundreds of international journals. At present, he is the president of International Society of Ocular Trauma and Ocular Trauma Society of India also. He heads both. He's the president of both International Society of Ocular Trauma as well as the Indian Society for Ocular Trauma. And he was awarded Padmashri by the President of India, the highest civilian, third highest civilian award. He was awarded Padmashri. And he was awarded Man of Millennium by Visex Foundation. And he's a visiting professor in Marmodes University, Argentina, University of Lugano, and of course, Savita University. And of course, he's a visiting professor for our Setna University also. And he was awarded FRCS Glasgow recently. And to mention, he has done a lot of, and currently he's doing, till now he's doing a lot of work in artificial intelligence in teleophthalmology. It's very, very important. He's reaching the areas of unreachable areas through his teleophthalmology and he's making use of artificial intelligence in this field. So it's a very new field for us. Last time when Professor Natarajan was here, last 6 months back, September, I guess, he gave us all of us about this artificial intelligence, how it is used in field of ophthalmology, and he's currently involved in doing that. And he's also currently doing one of the researchers in Argus implant. So I heard Dr. Natarajan is doing a wonderful job with other scientists all over the globe in for this Argus implant, for which is the only hope for blind people to have some amount of vision. So he's currently into it. So I wish Dr. Natarajan soon he will be one of the inventor for this Argus implant, and it will change the lives of millions of people around the globe. And Professor Natarajan is better known for his prowess as VR surgeon. He's a powerhouse of, we all consider him as a powerhouse of positive energy. And that's the reason we invited him for this talk, because all of us, are not in a good mood, and we are all not up to our levels. We are all some 50% only we are because of this COVID-19. So this talk given by Professor Dr. Natarajan will enrich us and empower us and recharge us. So because he's a powerhouse of positive energy and considers himself recharged by interacting with youngsters. So he's remained a youngster till now because of interacting with the youngsters, and he is a powerhouse of positive energy. So the main aim of today's talk is to stay positive during this unfortunate COVID-19 pandemic, which is crippling our doctor's life and also the patient's life and also the general public's life and also the country's economy. and not only the country, the entire globe is being crippled by this COVID-19. So I hope Dr. Natarajan's talk will at least on the context of doctors or whoever is listening to this talk will from 50% it may increase our performance or our energy to about 75%. So we hope Dr. Natarajan's talk will enlighten us and recharge us. So we request all of you to sit back and enjoy his wonderful power pack talk, and you can interact with him and the other panelists after this after he presents, and you are free to clear your doubts and all these things with Dr. Natarajan. So I request Professor Dr. Natarajan and thank him for accepting our invitation and to be a part of guest lecture in this wonderful afternoon. Over to you, Dr. Natarajan, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stephen. And I always enjoy interacting with you and you're a professor and you look like a student, and I wish to be like you. And we are there, and I think the whole idea is to lift everybody's mood. So I'll start sharing my screen. And I think you are justified in feeling low because you mentioned that I'm a powerhouse of energy, and that's because of my prayers and my grandmother's blessing. So today's, I want to hope at the end of the presentation, all of you will become transformed and lead the way. So I thought of using life lessons from the infinite wisdom of Kung Fu Panda. It was actually a cartoon movie which came in 2000, and the Kung Fu Panda 2 came. And I had a fellow, I don't know whether he's logged in, Dr. Rishi Bharadwaj. He was in 2014. All the time he used to tell me, because I was probably like a master Shifu, and I don't know how you'll be seeing the slide later. And he actually meant that I'm like Master Shifu and he's like Kung Fu Panda. But I understood wrongly for last 6 years till I saw the movie. Only during the COVID I saw the movie, but I suddenly remembered why I'm wasting time in seeing any movie. But I think I want to tell all of you, I see any movie, I actually learn something from the movie, and that's what my mother was a movie like a mad for movies. So every week we used to go for movies. So I actually one second. Yeah. Okay. So you are able to see the screen, Stephen?
No, the screen sharing has gone.
Yeah, I can see only user. I can't see the screen sharing. Pop.
One second. I don't know what I pressed. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, now I can see.
Now you can see, okay?
Yeah, we can see.
We are in the problem. The notorious COVID-19 pandemic has brought the world to its knees, and being surrounded by uncertainty and an extended lockdown has its own effects on every one of us, especially us in health fraternity. And that's what Dr. Stephen told me. And I asked him what topic you want, and he said all of us are doing COVID duty, and we are not in a good mood to do our regular ophthalmology. And I think I wanted to say this: don't worry, though we are all in this together. And these are unprecedented times, uncertainty due to COVID, panic, stuck, no progress, may feel aimless, unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel, challenge to adopt the new normal. And that's why I'm using my title as COVID times, happy times, a new normal, challenging to adapt to the new normal. I think I want to sensitize all of you to learn to be happy even when there's a problem. And then we may not be in the same boat, but we are all facing the same storm. And at this juncture, I want to acknowledge the work done by Dr. Dishita for preparing the slides for me. Dr. Dishita, she just finished her fellowship in cataract and refractive surgery from Dr. Sri Ganesh, and she's in Bangalore. And she's actually she finished her exam and she got a degree, MS and fellowship, and she's at home because of the COVID. And I learned one thing from her. She's saying she was using her the hand-eye coordination by suturing tomatoes and potatoes. I think I think there is something to learn from everybody. And similarly, Dr. Abhishek, he actually wants to learn from me. He wants to join. He's a consultant in Jammu, and he's there. and he actually wants to do a veterinary fellowship. And Dr. Aishwarya Iyer, who's yet to do the interview, and she's the one who compiled all the things. And I gave her my slides, and she has compiled everything and made a keynote for me. So I hope it's not a khichdi. And I wanted to say that we wanted to. So we have to believe what you have, and this is what is the lesson from the Kung Fu Panda, the who way to Po, and he's the Kung Fu Panda, and you must believe what you know. So and then what we can make a difference, and we have the power to choose how we are going to react to our predicament, and this is an opportunity to reflect, learn, and grow to be a better version of ourselves. And I think that's what I've done for myself. And I think when the COVID was announced, and I was the one who was operating till March 31st, I think, and around March 15th onwards, we had a patient who had a road traffic accident, and went to Italy in February for a fashion show, and then she was undergone the initial repair in Delhi, and then she came around March 11th to Mumbai, and when she didn't do the history that time, and then March 15th when we examined, and then I told because the chances were less than 1%, I said you bring all your family. Her mother was from Silchar in Assam, and then her husband was in Delhi, so they all came. Then again we met, and then on the day of surgery, while I was talking, she told that she had a history of going to Italy, so we got her tested. She was negative, but on the admission, she said the whole night she was tense, so she didn't. She was feeling feverish, and having a history of going to Italy, and then COVID testing done in Delhi, and again in the March second week, nobody was aware what is COVID, and particularly whether to operate or not. Then we had a notification from this Kasturba hospital in Mumbai, the infectious disease hospital. We referred to her. The reluctance, the family went, and they gave the clearance, and I operated on, I think, March 17th. That's what I remember. And then the whole hospital was upset, saying that, sir, you are not taking any precaution. But I think we didn't have the PPE that time. It was not available. Neither I knew to use, and I did it because she was negative, and there was a history-wise no temperature and no other, and there was no court available at that time. But I'm happy to say that I had the guts, but not a simple blind guts. And I think you should have some conviction, follow the medical knowledge, and then do it. So I think as a medical student, you already know you all want to be doctors, and you have become doctors, and you're working in COVID, and in your hearts and minds, you're already there. And don't lose sight of your dreams. Don't give up. And a professor, Stephen, is saying that we are all in difficult times. And I think as a professor, I want him to be 100% happy. And I'm happy he told the truth. And that's the reason he mentioned that he's not in a good mood. And I think now I want, from now, whatever happens, be in a good mood. And I think when a problem strikes, Professor Stephen, like we are a head of an institution with I have 100 staff in my hospital and 50 in the foundation and no income, and then we have to pay the staff. It was a big shock and a problem, root shock to people and me. But somehow I don't know why I was not worried. Anyway, I've taken my personal loan to pay the staff. That's things apart, and it's not for just taking the. So, and here you see the movies about the Po, the panda, the fun-loving, happy, adopted son of a duck who owns a small noodle shop. Po dreams of achieving great feats in Kung Fu, and he's part of the Furious Five and the best Kung Fu team in China. And then as the movie progresses, and as the movie progresses, Po is chosen to be the dragon warrior by the wise master Ugwe, a fat panda, the dragon warrior, and everybody is actually asking how you can have him as the dragon warrior. So I think there was a question, and then no one believed in him and thought Master Ugwe was wrong. People discouraged him, and yet he undertook the arduous journey, which rewarded him with the title of the Dragon Warrior. And I remember at this juncture, when I prepared the slide, I didn't remember that when I finished my ophthalmology postgraduate in '84, and the finishing time, my senior was Dr. Madhivanan, and he told me that you should do a retina fellowship, and I was actually assistant Dr. Daljit Singh that time, and I wanted to do microsurgery. And my father, being a professor of ophthalmology in the same hospital and Madras Medical College, he told me, don't take up retina, it's no use. And all the assistant professors in my unit said that, but if you take up retina, you're doomed. Because that time, when you do retinal surgery, the vision expected was counting fingers or less than that, and many patients failed. And that was the history all over India except Shankar Nethralaya. But when I went to Dr. Badrinath after my postgraduate and told him I want to do vitreoretinal surgery, I want to do microsurgery fellowship, he said, I don't have microsurgery, but I have only vitreoretinal surgery. If you want, you join. And I joined the same time. And I think no looking back. Just like the Panda, that I was also had a humble beginning in the small temple town of Madurai, but Madurai is a historic town. And I'm grateful to my parents, and that's my picture when I was a kid. And that's my late father, Dr. Sundaram, who was the director of the Regional Institute of Ophthalmology, Madras, since all of you are in Madras. And that's the oldest eye hospital. And today in Academy Express, I quoted the government eye hospital, which celebrates 200 years, the publication in Current Science, and I would like all of you to read, and I'll send the reference. And my mother is again born in Tenkasi, which is again another small temple town, which is near Kutralam waterfalls. And this is my house in 10 Marshall's Road, which is in the government eye hospital quarter. And this house is more than 100 years old. And this is the same picture where you see my grandfather and grandmother, and I have my Dr. Sunil Parekh was my fellow, later became a consultant. This is in 1990, 30 years back, when I started 18July2020 Hospital, and I had the chance of starting the hospital in a, OPD was in the garage, and in the ground floor residence apartment, I converted into the Center for Retina Surgery and Research, and that's the board you're seeing. And this is a garage which is converted into a clinic. And this picture I put where my uncle, who's wearing the glasses here, on the top picture, which is he's the owner of the RMKV, who's a textile company which is there in Mumbai, which is there in Chennai, Bangalore, and Tirunelveli, and Manappetai. And the reason is I put there, I'm with the tie, and here in the lower picture, I'm standing, I'm carried by my mother, and the other picture, I'm standing next to my chitti, that is Nasi, which is I'm wearing tie. Just to say, without realizing, I started wearing from my first standard until today. I wear tie, and wearing tie was that's my brother, who's just 1 year younger to me, and that's taken in the Madras Museum. And that this was there a success mantra like what Po? This is the Kung Fu Panda. His name is Po in that movie. And whether was there a success mantra? According to me, I didn't have, but probably there are a lot of advices given to me, and something I absorbed, and probably because of that, I think I learned not to quit. And then now I realize after seeing the movie, a real warrior never quits. And I think I've been a warrior all the time. And this is the best lesson I've learned, which I made a similar slide in 2000 when I did Google. There is a reference which says that the what do you call? I think there are other author for this, but Kung Fu Panda in Uruguay says yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery, and today is a gift, and that is why it's called the present. And in English, in the grammar, it's present tense is present, and present also is another word for gift. So this moment is a gift for you. I am actually taking Stephen, that your opportunity to me to address all of you, to have a collaboration with, I can see Dr. Malingam, Dr. Ashiyani, Dr. Abhishek, of the Dishita, as an opportunity and as as a gift for me. And don't dwell on the past, but the past is very important. And I think I learned from Dr. Badrinath, my mentor, Dr. Jovanovich. They all taught me the history of ophthalmology, history of how vitreous surgery developed. So I'm glad to say the first vitreous surgery was done in 1971 when I was in probably 8th standard. And now, after that, from the time of Dr. The one who found the direct ophthalmoscope in 1851, von Helmholtz. From Helmholtz till 2016, the American Society for Retina Vitreous Surgery has made a Retina Hall of Fame. You can Google Retina Hall of Fame, and only 2 Indians are there, and myself and my mentor, Dr. Badrinath. And I think it all happened because of the training, and I think the conviction. And this is what, don't dwell in the past. And I think history is useful. And I found how retinal detachment surgery was done, learned about bone-in, and how you mentioned that you find the retinal hole, you seal the hole, you treat the retina. And that fact holds good whether you do a pneumoretinopexy or you do a primary vitrectomy or you use a PFCL, you finally have to seal the retinal hole. And don't think about the future. It is full of uncertainty. But the management lessons I've learned from a B school, I'm a faculty there as a part of the leadership development program of All India Ophthalmic Society. Past has to be used as a note so that you don't worry about it, but use it as a lesson. And based on that lesson, follow Einstein, who says, don't make the same mistake. He says, if you make the same mistake, you'll be an idiot. And that's why your intelligence is nothing great. And he says he's not a genius, but the whole world. And if you go through the dictionary or in the thesaurus, if you Google genius, it will come Albert Einstein. And that means almost genius is word for Albert Einstein, but he claimed he's not a genius. But I think everybody knows that he was a genius. And I think he said, don't make the mistake again. And don't think about the future. But I think in management, like right now during COVID, I just spoke to another leader. His name is Deepak Rao. He runs a CEO forum in a WhatsApp group, and he actually leadership course. And he told me 2 months back he thought his life is doomed because he was doing programs for 5-star and big companies in big hotels as a one-day program. He thought that his career is doomed. But he told me today, now there are offers, so I'm going to use him with Dr. Ashiani. In August 16th, we are planning a leadership development program for the young ophthalmologists for planning. And I think future you have to plan, but you don't waste time in planning all the time. You plan, you make strategy, and you have to have action plan, and you have to do action. And look at this tree. This is what Grandmaster Uguay says. Look at this tree. I cannot make it blossom when it suits me, nor make it bear fruit before its time. No matter what you do, that seed of peach will grow to the peach tree. And if you plant an apple tree, you will grow apple. And if you grow, so on. So if you plant in your mind a seed that you want to be the best, and I think you will become the best. And that's what I did. As a kid, I met V.G. Panidas, the owner of the VGP Golden Beach, and I'm sure the Madras people will remember VGP. And I met him in 1965. And he said during the VGP Golden Beach Bhumi Pujan, that if you want to dream and make that dream as a prayer and say the prayer in the night and sleep, my son, that's what he told me. So my prayer was, without knowing the meaning, I should become an internationally renowned vitreoretinal surgeon. And I have become, and I think I'm not showing off, but I want to say it is not automatic. You have to do the work. And I don't want to use the word hard work. You do the work with passion and love, and you will get it. And what you do have is the day and this moment, seize it. And that's what I'm trying to say. I want to seize this moment to impregnate your minds to say that you use this my talk, and I'm happy this will be this is being recorded, and it's going to be in the Facebook media. It's already live, and it will be there I'm sure in the YouTube. You contemplate, you meditate, self-evaluate, and you will emerge as a stronger and a more powerful version of yourself. And that's what I'm doing. And I think and this is what I want to convey. So never think of past. This is an old slide. I'm glad you could include it. And this is a picture taken in South America. There are I think this was one of the first trips in 10 years back to South America. And never think of past. It brings tears. And don't think of the future. It brings fear. Live this second and brings tears. And I enjoy. I'm in the dance floor. I dance a lot. I'm in the temple. I pray. When I have to do meditation, I do. And for me, surgery is meditation. And when I was speaking to Dr. Ashian, she was telling she takes time to do meditation. She follows Sadhu Vaswani, the Dadaji we call, from Pune. And the lesson number 2, is the slide seen, Stephen? Can you see my slides?
We can very well see your slides. Everything is clear.
Okay. So there is no easy way to mastery, and that's what the Tigress says, and that's what I think. I'm glad. I don't know. I'm still trying to take my joining letter to Dr. Badrinath, and I don't know how I wrote. I wrote to him, I'm ready to be sculpted and to crafted as a veterinary surgeon. This is what I wrote. And he literally chiseled me. And I think the chiseled means he really took a hammer and hammered me. And I think I'm happy I was hammered. And that is what I want to call that as my past as a no pain. I think there is a statement somewhere in my slide, it will come, no pain, no gain. And I don't believe that. I didn't have any pain. And I think when I remember my athletic exercise, because I was an athletic captain in the Madras Medical College in 1980, 75. And I think when you do exercise, and now new exercise you do for a muscle, it will pain. And I learned to enjoy that. I think learn to enjoy the pain. And it took Tigers 20 years to develop fists of steel, 20 years of practicing Kung Fu and punching iron trees. Mastery is all about developing healthy habits, which will raise your chances of becoming successful, but that takes time and perseverance. And at this time, somebody can take notes. You should read that book by Richard Green called Concise Mastery. And that was gifted by Dr. Rakesh Sinha to me, who's no more, unfortunately. And that's because that mastery book deals about Charles Darwin, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci. And I distinctly remember Charles Darwin when he went on the ship and he was a doctor, and his father told him, and he was fed up with his job, and he didn't like to work what work was given to him. And he thought he wanted to do something, and something else he was searching in life. And he went as a doctor in the ship. And his job given to him was to collect material from the wherever the ship landed. And that's how he landed in Galapagos. And after reading that, I had a dream of going to Galapagos. And I went to Galapagos only for that. Galapagos Islands is 1,000 miles away from the shores of Ecuador. There is a city called Quito, which is the earthquake city. And volcano city. And I think whatever I dream, I could get it. And there's a movie, all the students in Chettinad can relate to that. The movie is Nenethale Nikum, which came in 1977, where Kamal Hassan was hero and Rajinikanth was a villain. One of the first 5 movies where he was a villain. In that movie, there is a song, Kalail Japan, Malail New York Cabaret, and something else will come. That means have coffee in Japan in the morning and breakfast, lunch in Bangkok, and then dinner in New York. And you won't believe, I was dreaming. At that time, I had not even taken a flight that was in my 4th MBBS. And I have not even taken a flight in my life, but I was dreaming I should go have coffee in Japan and lunch in Bangkok and dinner in London. And I think I'm doing 6 times a year. And then everybody said it's a punishment to me now when the COVID came. No, I think I never became fed up of traveling. I was traveling every 3 days. And last year I gave 91 lectures as president of All India Ophthalmic Society, visited 15 countries and maybe 70 towns in that 52 weeks. And I think I enjoyed it. And it definitely, everybody looking at me was telling, don't get exhausted, don't overburn. I'm glad that it converted as a blessing. And I think God brought, and I remember this that it's a spiritual exercise which Corona has brought in. And I think it's a spiritual test to the world. And I think this is what happened. You can imagine, I'm taking rest and rest and rest. So I wanted to quote Swami Chinmayananda, whom I met. He said, if I rest, I will rust. So I've used this time, and this is an extra time to develop a skill and perfect it. So now I'm learning Argentine and tango from a friend, Isabel. She's in Porto Alegre in South Brazil. And we do in her time, using FaceTime and internet, I'm learning dancing that to the Argentine and tango. It's quite tough, but now I decided it's easy. So I'm learning, and I had the guts to put it in live, and I done 5 classes already. And there's no shortcut. And I think the book by Malcolm Gladwell, that's Outliers, which mentions anybody who's a master like Mozart in music, or Beethoven, or anybody who say, including Usain Bolt, who's a 100 meters champion in the world. And he actually says, anybody who's a master like me or my Dr. Badrinath, and you have to do 10,000 hours of practice. So you can imagine I've done more than 20 or 30,000 hours of vitreoretinal surgery, and that's why, and I'm glad to say that I've done one of the maximum number of vitreoretinal surgery in the world, maybe 60,000, which is, I think, great. And thanks to my guru. When you think of a guru, and there appears the master, and that's what Buddha's teaching. And he's the chairman emeritus, Dr. Sengamedu Srinivasa Badrinath, who's a master, and is the master of master, whose teacher was Dr. Charles Keepens. And I'm glad I had an interaction with Charles Keepens, and Charles Keepens visited, who's called the master of modern retinal detachment surgery in 1970s. He has visited Bombay, and then so he follows the Adi Shankaracharya's message, not by penance, not by visiting holy rivers, not by reading scriptures, not by chanting mantras, but by only by performing selfless service to humanity can one cross the ocean of life. And the mark of a true hero is humility, and that's Master Shifu. And if you only do what you can you will never be more than you are right now. So whatever you are now, and I think Master Dr. Stephen, I think I'm glad you have taken me as a visiting professor, and I want to stimulate you and thank to you, Dr. Stephen, for again extending or renewing the MOU between Ayurveda Research Foundation, that is the Foundation for Tinkling Research, and Chettinad University for doing collaborative research for exchange of fellows. I will take this opportunity whenever the post-COVID, people are welcome to visit Ayurveda, whatever may be the specialty, just to come and observe. And I think by observing, you learn a lot. After you have trained as a whatever surgeon you want, a cataract surgeon, oculoplastic surgeon, comprehensive ophthalmologist, medical ophthalmologist, whatever you want to do. And you want a different result, stop doing what you're doing right now. I'm sure Professor Stephen is teaching you in a particular way, but I'm not telling you not to follow. Stop, follow that. What I meant stop doing right now is, in case you are doing cataract in a way, maybe you have to find a new way to see how you can do, but don't experiment, and practice that in the wet lab, in the mini simulated lab. Dare to be different and dare to go out of the box. And I think that's what I've done all the time. And that's what I did in the Madras Medical College. Even though I was wearing tie from school and college, but when I joined medical college, nobody was wearing tie. So first MBBS, I didn't wear tie. I used to see my senior, who's a cardiac thoracic surgeon now, and a great, that is Dr. Naresh Kumar. He runs Harvey Hospital in Madras. And the other great guy is Dr. Mohan Vishwanathan, who runs the Madras Diabetic Research Center. Five of them were wearing tie in their final year. And I think they were doing their house agency. And I was impressed with them. Why not we wear a tie as a medical student? So I used to love to wear tie and have the white coat in the bus and come. But I couldn't do that. In second MBBS, suddenly the classmates decided one day all the boys will wear tie and all the girls will come in smart silk saree. And from that day, I never removed the tie. And many times people ask me, my professor used to scold me, do you sleep with the tie? And do you take bath with the tie? Because I used to go to the football ground, play football, obviously with the shorts and the t-shirt. I removed the tie, and again I'll wear the tie and come back, because the Madras Medical watchman will ask me if I don't wear a tie, what happened to you, sir? Doctor, sir, you are not wearing tie. Anything problem? As though some mourning he is doing. So I think I learned that. And your mind is like this water, my friend. And when it is agitated, it becomes difficult to see. If you allow it to settle, the answer becomes clear. And there's a movie, you should see that. And if you put ripples or even just put one stone, that means one problem comes to you in your mind. It will produce ripples, but allow it to settle down. And I think the corona is like that. It came into our mind and made ripples in even a small stone thrown or a big stone thrown, ripples are ripples. But if you leave it like that for some time, it will settle down and slowly the ripples will stop and you'll see the clear picture. And that's what you see here. They are seeing their own picture because he's reaching the ceiling to get the answer. That is the secret recipe. And when he sees, and in the top, he will see that although it is there, but finally, when the picture is clear, I think you know that nothing, actually, there was no secret recipe. And that's what I want to say. Everybody asked me, what's your secret for energy? And he also called me as a energy. I think everybody has a secret. Sadhguru is talking, Sri Ravi Shankar is talking, and we have Dada Dadaji, that is the Vaswani, JP Vaswani group. And everybody's telling, but somehow when we say it's a spiritual lecture, we all young people go away, including me when I was there. But I think you can grasp something. So your mind is like water, and on self-reflection, you have the power to respond proactively and find solution in any situation. So today's situation, whatever you are a first-year resident, second-year resident, or you have just finished your PG, or you have just finished your fellowship like Dr. Deshita, or you are practicing a second year like Dr. Abhishek and Dr. Aishwarya Rai, who's about to join fellowship, and you are in suddenly a common problem, that is corona, an invisible enemy. And you have actually no limitations in life. This is a temporary limitation. And the limitation you have are the ones you place on yourself. That means you have decided, corona has come, I can't do. And in these times of uncertainty, one needs to focus on growing from challenges and turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And that's what I've done. And actually, I don't know whether I'm successful. And I'm actually experimenting. And I'm telling this from March 27 to my team. And I'm also changing my team. I hope my team is watching this presentation. Otherwise, they should see it in the Facebook Live or Facebook recording. That I have tried to put a lot of new now in the hospital. One is because the patient load came from 130 to suddenly to 1-2 a day, because we were only doing emergency. And later it became 5 a day. That was in the first week of April. And today we are only 30 or 40 patients and few surgery. And I don't know how the Chettinad working. But I think you can't be sitting and saying, oh, no patient, no money. I know it is a fact. And that movie 3 Idiots says, don't repeat the fact. You tell a lie to your heart. That's what he quoted all the watchmen in the country. They sleep thinking that God will take care of the property, and that fellow will sleep and all is well. You tell the heart all is well. Here, you tell the all is well and to the cosmic, and that's what Dr. Abdul Kalam, when he met Swami Sivananda, when he was rejected, he said, have your idea, it goes to the ether, that means to the electromagnetic field in the atmosphere, and comes back in the next day. And it is a truth, like how the sun rises and the sun sets. And so it is exactly the same. Whatever you have, don't have any limitation. You want to be the president of India, become. And you want to become the, I have my idea. You want to get Nobel Prize in ophthalmology. And I want to tell you, till now, 4 ophthalmologists have got Nobel Prize. But among them, only one has got the Nobel Prize for ophthalmology, and that is Alvar Gulstrand. And in 2016, because I'm dreaming of it, I've already documented in many interviews and my talks in 2006 that I want to get a Nobel Prize. And some of my critics say, oh, how can you plan for a Nobel Prize? I said, I know, I cannot plan, but I'm dreaming. I'm working on it. I have a team headed by Dr. Rajkumar as a PhD, and Siddhita as a scientist. I'm trying to make them do basic science work. I'm collaborating with Dr. John Prakash in National Eye Institute, Dr. Takeshi Iwata in National Institute of Sense Organs, who is the president of Global Eye Genetic Consortium. I am the Secretary General, and Dr. Paul Bird in Australia. And we are also working on, I'm not a cornea surgeon. I'm a member of the Character Corners International Consortium. I'm also part of Genetic Consortium. And why I'm saying, don't have limitation. You are the limitation. And my secretary has all the, power, because I have 100 ideas. And I already told her, you can't follow all 100 ideas, but I will do. And I want her to pick up some 5 or 10 and keep doing it. And to make and these times of uncertainty, one needs to focus on growing from challenges and turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. And the stumbling block today is COVID, and I am sure we can see Dr. Stephen says he's coming to the hospital daily. The doctors are coming, the PGs are coming, and they are doing COVID duty. The co-moderator, Major Prashant, I think he's gone to COVID duty, he said. And I think they're all going beyond duty and doing, and beyond and being an eye doctor. And to make something special, you just have to believe it's special. So for me, my special is how I became, because I want to tell this. As a 5-year kid, I still remember I was a crying child. Even if I keep a rubber and a pencil in place and it's somewhere misplaced, I will cry. I'll play carrom board with my father and lose the game, I'll cry. I play shuttle badminton with my father and I lose, I cry. So can you believe at the age of 5, and when my brother was 4, my father arranged a tuition teacher, not for regular school class. And I still remember she was an Anglo-Indian lady because we were living in Pudupet, that is in the government road. Anything? Yeah. Government have the street where I think we had a teacher only to explain all the things in the museum, which is in Pantheon Road. I'm sure the Madras people will relate to that. So I think the idea is that my father wanted me to be a happy child and do something new. And he said he had a limitation because he was an introvert. And he found that I'm also becoming an introvert. So he wanted to be an extrovert. You can see, you can't believe I was a crying child. I was an introvert. And how my father, my mother, then later Swami Vivekananda, because I took part in the competition, and my school teachers and my high school teachers and college, the pre-university, Madras Medical College. I think everybody has played a role and made my life special. And you need to believe that you are special so that you'll be able to tap into your full potential. And the most difficult but most important person you need to convince about your ability is yourself. And when you say something difficult, it becomes difficult. So the law of attraction is make it easy. There is no secret formula or ingredient which you must learn for success. It has always been you and it resides within you. So this is what Mr. Ping says. And having come from a disciplined and traditional practice, the Chalta attitude did not do a whit for my ethical sense. That is because when I came from Madras, when I came to Bombay Hospital, it's a public thing. And totally the ethics were different. So when I was doing a practice in Bombay Hospital, that time the chairman of then chairman of Bank of India, who was impressed with my wife's actually treatment to him, he asked, why don't I start my own private practice? And was thought of that kept running over and over in mind. But then I said, who will give me loan? He said, you have the skill and you apply to the bank, we will give you. In 1990, I borrowed the money and started the Viteratal Center. And that's the center you see. It's an ordinary building. The ground floor outside, it looks bad because I didn't own the building and neither it was a rental place. And you can see Dr. Badrinath, Gullapalli Rao was the chief guest and guest of honor. And the sheriff of Mumbai that time, Nana Chudatma, was the guest of honor. I told I can have only Dr. Badrinath as the chief guest and nobody else. And that's why I didn't have the governor as a guest of honor, because you cannot have governor as a guest of honor and have somebody else as a chief guest. And that was on 15th July 1990. I think we are just exactly 30 years. So I'm celebrating 1st August as the 30th anniversary of Aditya Eye Hospital. And the lesson number 6, and they said you must let go of the illusion of control. And I think you can control everything you think. And in December 2019, if someone had told you that what 2020 would be like this, it would be like, you may not believe it so easily. And life was all planned out. I don't think, and I see a lot of jokes in, at least in my Madras group, that the Tamil astrologers predicting in 2019, December 31st. I'm laughing because they said this and that. And even our own Vision 2020, they didn't predict, but they gave Vision 2020 that by year 2020, everybody will have a Vision 2020 in each eye. And then American Academy also said this is the year of the vision. I mean, you can imagine all of us struggling in 2020. And it's nothing wrong into dreaming. And nothing is in your hand. And that's what I want to say. Living under the false impression that everything can be planned out perfectly and panicking when the plan goes wrong is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in life. Everybody is in doldrums. So what? Everybody is in the similar situation. That's what you should know. But everybody is coming out. And I just spoke to a company who's a fabricator. I hope many of you attended the All India conference last year when I took over as president in Indore, and this year in Gurgaon. And the fabricators on Nimit Soni. I'm very impressed with them. His company was only fabricating the entire exhibition. And now you see that he has converted himself into an event manager organizing virtual conference. So I think it's a new now, same thing. We are into teleophthalmology now, even though we are not doing well. And I'm trying to make revenue through teleophthalmology. I'm working with several companies. I'm motivating my staff, my consultants, doctors, management team. So I think even though that, the corona control is not in your hand, but corona prevention is in your hand, and living under that false impression that you cannot control of the your own problem is not correct. So just go with the flow, and that means the corona is there, but with that you make sure you understand what's happening, and with that understand that your life will take you down the winding path, which will ultimately lead you to your destiny, and trying to control it is futile. So get ready to dance with the danger, and that's lesson number 7. I'm sure all of you know that I love dancing, and I think in order to become the successful person you must learn to level up yourself through the hardships that are there to test you. So I think if you don't want to do a work, and when you're asked to do that work, and if you do it unwillingly, and that is hard work, and that when you face that is hardship. So if you're actually, when there's a problem is thrown at you and you do it with love, it is not a hardship. So my fellowship, when I started in April '84, I remember still Dr. Badrinath, but Nati calls me and he says, Nati, I've seen you in the Madras Medical College. You are a general secretary, and as a postgraduate also you are a postgraduate secretary. Your life is under all the time going around, bubbling, meeting people, going to the secretariat, meeting chief ministers. And how will you be under a life of tubelight? He asked. And that means I said, ask me, what is that? He said, you're going to be under this tubelight from morning to night and night to morning, he said. I didn't understand. And that means he thought it was like a jail for me or a slave. No, I enjoyed it. I used to go at 7 in the morning, work till 1, and almost at night 11, he will ask me, Nati, can you read this? And then he'll say, we'll meet at 7 in the morning. Imagine, so you have to work till 1, or you assist sometimes till 1 o'clock in the morning, and morning again 7 o'clock come to the OPD, and he'll ask what happened. It's not that in between whether you slept, whether you had breakfast, you won't ask any of this. So learn to dance with your problems and not run away from them, and learn from your mistakes and failures. Like Einstein said, don't repeat the mistake. If you don't do a mistake, you're not doing enough work. That is what I remember when somebody presented in 2003, I think, in Pune conference in All India, Dr. Daljit Singh or somebody else, I think. And then somebody said, no complication. And somebody from the last row in the audience said, Dr. So-and-so, you're not seeing your post-op next day. So I think if you operate, you'll face complication. So you have to operate and make sure you reduce the complication. That's where the expert is. Never give up and keep forwarding. So this picture where I'm shown as a dancing in I think in one of the disco in the 2005, and I think when this picture was printed in the Times of India, and they compared me with the Naresh Trihan and 4 other practitioners, and saying the highest paid income taxpayer at that time. And I think I couldn't even recognize the picture. And many people complained, you're a doctor, and they have put your picture. But I said, the words speak there. They said, I'm the highest taxpayer, and I'm not a don or somebody who made money. And Mumbai, I did a hard work, and I did the not hard work. I did work with passion, and I earned the money, and I paid tax. So this is a chapter, Dance of Nataraja, in Swami Sukhapodananda's book, and the words are from there. How do we dance like that? You dance for happiness. Swami Sukhapodananda has mentioned, you would not get happiness. If you attend his program called Life, I think, and he says that at the end of every program, on the last session is dancing. And he himself will dance, and he does violently, and he's actually looking heavy. And I used to think, he's going to fall. But I think he's a man of conviction. He does exercise, he does martial arts. So I think you dance from happiness. So I remember visiting Elephanta Caves, where when you actually enter the Elephanta Caves, the first statue is Lord Shiva Nataraja. And my friend is Shivanandan. I used to tell him that. He said he has not visited the Elephanta Caves. And there it says, Lord Shiva Nataraja dances on Lalita Ragam. The meaning is that he says there, Lord Nataraja has mentioned, if you dance in that Ananda Tandav mode, you don't need to eat, and you get energy out of dancing. So when I dance, I don't eat, and I don't smoke, I don't drink. So I think I don't eat also. So I'm actually dancing out of happiness. And because of that, you don't have any hunger, and so you enjoy life. So that means if you free, let loose your muscle, bone, everything, which is important, because If you are stiff, your mind is stiff. If you are let loose, you'll be free. So I actually joke with patients. When they don't get vision, I always tell them, you can feel people. Why do you want to feel mentally? You feel physically, I tell them. And the patient is, doctor, what are you telling me? So I tell them, come on, take life easily, because the patient is blind in both eyes and I have done my best and still you can't see. You should appreciate I've done the best surgery, but you can't see, but let us take a life. And I'm happy like that. One of the Kashmir, the pellet from her name is Insha. And I think the word Insha comes from Inshallah. And you can see it's some word equal to God. And I remember she came with no PL both eyes. And I did surgery. I made a international, because internationally everybody was questioning me, will she get vision and all that. But I took opinion from Johns Hopkins and president at that time, Dr. Ferenc School. And I operated. Anyhow, she got from no light, well, she got PL. But I made it public that I'm taking a video consent. I made informed all the people who are concerned, the police, the army, the whatever the groups, and the government of Kashmir. And she stayed in as a Kashmir government patient, came in Mumbai and operated. She got only PL. And I'm glad to see there was a photograph. She has cleared her strength in the exams recently, because she was, I think, only 7th or 8th when she got the injury. And I think the lesson number 8, your real strength comes from being the best you and you can be. Who are you and what are you good at? What makes you is you. So you can imagine, see the exact folded hands. And this is actually Swami Vivekananda's post. And I don't know whether you've seen that. Even Barack Obama used to do that. So I have made a picture like myself, Swami Vivekananda. And now I see Po. He's also having the same folding hands. And I think individually, I have imbibed that. And many of my posters are with the folded hands. And your strength comes from you doing your best you. In life, you can only produce a remarkable result when you become you and do your best. You must find out what you want to be and what you are good at. And that's important. And for me, I'm glad a lot of people around me. And the best man was Prof Dr. I think he's my friend, philosopher, guide. And I think everything for me, whatever I think is more than my parents. And everything for me is him, because every day I'm actually emotionally in tears now, because he's everything for me. And the reason is I'm at his feet every time. And even now I'm emotional, because whatever I am is because of him. And even the Retina Hall of Fame, I'm the best surgeon, everything, because he found out that I'm the best surgeon. And I didn't realize that. And in the consultants meeting, he told that Nati did this. And he used to be proud like a father, not like a teacher. And to tell in the consultant, Nati did this surgery. Because I know for one thing that I was the youngest consultant in that time, in 1985, and nobody else was doing vitreous surgery except me, who shared his expertise. And he has got a special consent saying that Natarajan operates like me, and he'll take a consent from the patient and tell that he's the surgeon better than me. Who will tell that? And I think he's done that for me. And if you want to be an expert and a master, you need a guru. And I think an athlete needs a mentor, and a football needs a coach. So I think you need a coach for life. And that can be, for me, that's Dr. Badrinath. And first understand your greatest strengths and do what you best. And for me, he understood my greatest strengths. And this is how successful create extraordinary results in life. He created extraordinary Natarajan from ordinary Natarajan. And thanks to Dr. Badrinath. Same thing, I hope I can create extraordinary, like Stephen or any people who are here in this group, maybe more than 200 or maybe thousands are seeing. I want them to be extraordinary in life. And imagine if you become extraordinary and you excel better than me, I think that is the best in life. And that's the best gift you can give. And I don't know whether I excelled Dr. Badrinath, but many times I keep telling him, I want to excel you. But he always will, Tadastu, he says. So I think that's what you want to do. So lesson number 9, you can see the Po. He made me like this. You are the master of your destiny. And this is what Swami Vivekananda says, that which I think the next slide will say, you are the creator of destiny. No one and nothing can come in between you and your destiny except you. Take destiny by the horn and have fun. I hope this will be the lesson number 9 in our Hindu philosophy, or whatever. Number 9 seems to be very 9 planets we have. somewhat divine. So I think the lesson number 9, please take it as only take home message. You are the creator of destiny. And that's what is a constant inspiration for me, Swami Vivekananda. Stand up, be bold, be strong. Take the whole responsibility on your own shoulder and know that you are the creator of your own destiny. I don't know how many of you imagine. I have imagined myself that if you are the prime minister for one day, what will you do for India? I think you should know how difficult it is to be a prime minister of India. I'm not talking about any other country, only our own country. Even during this, how many criticisms, what is happening in Rajya Sabha, what is happening in Lok Sabha, what's happening to your own self, what's happening to your diabetic, your this, your that. But how are you facing? I think that his answer is yoga. And I think I'm somehow, I'm not still doing yoga. And maybe I keep doing this. No one can decide how you live your life. So stop making excuses for the bad things. And this juncture, I want everybody to buy that book. It's available as a in the road also. And but if you want to buy in Amazon, it may be 500 rupees. But if you buy it in the road, the reprint copies are there in that ordinary. I call it cow dung paper, 50 rupees. That is the magic of thinking big by David Schatz. And I recommend to read that because second chapter, everybody is suffering that. Maybe I'm also suffering now and then, not every time. That is that there is a disease. He says, cure yourself of disease of excusitis. Today it is raining, today it is sunshine, today there is fog, and today there is I have fever, today I have cough, cold, or there is corona, or this and that, and keep on telling I'm old, I'm young, and that book says I'm diabetic, I'm hypertensive, I'm too young for this, I'm this, I'm that, I cannot do. No, that's an excuse. So don't tell. I mean, that is why I'm saying there is no excuse for you to think if you are the prime minister, what you can do. At least you think as a chief minister and see what you can do, because you don't know when you will be given the opportunity. Our Doctor's Day is celebrated after a doctor, and that doctor was a chief minister of West Bengal, and no other than none other than Dr. B.C. Roy. And I think he was the only chief minister who practiced medicine as a doctor. So he decided, he took permission from the secretary, not secretary, what do you call that, legislative assembly, and practiced 1 hour a day, I think. And I think there are examples. So in case I become president of India, I will do that. Allow yourself to grow those wings and soar high up in the sky where you are meant to be. Start having fun and enjoying every minute of your day, knowing that it is taking you one step closer to your destiny. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Paul Coelho said it. And this book is something like in the 2000 somewhere. And that's there in The Alchemist in the first page. And the same thing is repeated in the movie Om Shanti Om. It's in Hindi. कहता है अगर किसी चीज को अगर दिल से चाहता है तो सारी कायनात तुम उससे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है. मेरा हिंदी is like Tamilian speaking, because unfortunately in blood I'm Tamilian, even though I'm by karma I'm a Mumbaikar now. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So I wanted to be the best veterinary surgeon in the world, and I'm happy during this COVID time. That's I think you have to find out what is awesome for you and embrace it. And the power of positive thinking affects your action. And the word affects is important because it has to affect you. It's like a disease affecting you or a thought affecting you. So Po, the panda, demonstrated that by letting go of this self-limiting belief, he was able to become the dragon warrior. And you have the power to determine your mindset, regardless of outside influences. You can't change life's events, but however, you can control how you react to them. And I want to use that word I learned from Dr. Rakesh Chinna. You don't react, you respond to anything. That means if somebody slaps you, you hit back, and that is reaction. If somebody slaps you, and if you're spiritual, you think about it, and then you react, not react, you respond. That means when there is something strikes you, either a problem or a success or anything, you do something immediately, or you want to shout, and you do it immediately, I think it will be a reaction. And any reaction is not good. And I think that is why we always say you think. And that too, you want to scold a fellow or your junior, or you want to sack a person, you write that mail when you're angry mood. Don't send it. You put it in the draft, and next day when you are finished all your work, whatever, and you're in a normal mood, not cool mood, normal mood, open the mail, read it again, and see whether you have written well. Then you send that mail. Then you'll make it a difference, because otherwise whatever you put your words, you can't take it back. So it's like either you use the word or you tell somebody, and in spite of that, I'm not learning, but when I'm teaching you, I'm learning. Because I sometimes scold instantaneously, and I don't know whether my secretary is on the line here, Lakshmi. So yeah, I think I am now learning how to be cool, how to be happily tell that Lakshmi, you have done this, and why not you do like this? I'm not acting. I want to become like that. And when you focus on the positive, the whole world opens to you, and that's what Lakshmi does to me. I'm telling Goddess Lakshmi. And have good intention. It's a game changer. Tai Lung, the villain in the movie, was thought to be the promised dragon warrior because he was powerful. And although he was far better at Kung Fu, because if you've seen that movie, you'll understand. And Po, but Master Oogway saw darkness in his heart. So you need not be evil like them, or even in a class. Somebody is chosen by the teacher. If Stephen likes somebody, that means the student is impressed, not by doing some impressing for doing. No, I think it's like a Guru Sishya, which is the old term which we have. Somewhere you have to do something so that the Guru himself opens it, tells, okay, take this idea, you use it. And Po has always been a pure-hearted and never had evil intention. I remember assisting Dr. Badrinath from morning till sometimes 5 o'clock. Suddenly at 5 o'clock, he'll ask me, Nati, are you not hungry? You're not gone out for lunch. I said, no, sir. I don't want to miss assisting you because I'm learning something. He says, I can't understand how you can work like that. But I remember that. But remember the stupid whatever dosa or lunch I would have had and missed that surgery. I think I would have missed some life lessons because something never come back. So I remember doing that. So only when there is a patient is taken out of anesthesia, at that time I use that time to go and write notes and also have lunch and come back. Maybe it's at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And even as the owner of the hospital, I do that, which is wrong. And I think surgery is different. But fortunately, from 6-hour, 8-hour surgery, we have come to 1 hour and 2 hours. So the power of thoughts. This is what is there in the book Secret. Rhonda Byrne got the best-selling award in I think 2007, and which is all there in Bhagavad Gita as well as in our Sanskrit. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. You become what you think. Fortunately, I knew this long time back. Read it somewhere. And world is manifestation of our inner state. Perceived reality eventually becomes manifested reality. Adolf Hitler followed that, and also Albert Einstein did in theoretical physics, and Napoleon Bonaparte did it. What does that mean? They won the war the night before. How? They imagined the war field, they imagined the strength of the team, they imagined how they will win, and they went to the field. And this is what Steve Charles has recommended in his book called the micro-vitreous surgery. Whether whatever surgeon you are, you're a doctor, you should read that book from the library. The last chapter is surgical self-education, which says you evaluate yourself, you find out whether you have got the OT ready, you be prepared, and then see whether you are fit to do the surgery. So I think what you wish, like a complicated surgery, you will say that the surgery is bad, prognosis is bad. So I think you have to operate as though you have to be successful. So you imagine the night before. So you put your thoughts together, everything will work together. And then when you're operating, you will get ideas, your hands will work as you see. So we perceive a thought containing a chain or emotion. The process of creation is set into motion, and arrows have been released in ethereal planes or thought sphere. So when you think or you utter negative, it goes into the ether. So you can't take it out. So before you think itself, you have to correct it. That's why the power of subconscious mind says that 95% of ideas are negative. When you get up, you'll see how you are feeling feverish during this COVID time. Oh, I have cough. I have what to do. So I think immediately, like that Robin Sharma has mentioned in his book, Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, change the slide like this, change the next slide, and then you change the positive action. So like how I keep changing. So when the negative idea comes, change it to positive idea and you will get it. So your story may not have such a happy beginning, but I think I had a happy beginning. But that does not make you who you are. It is the rest of it, who you choose to be. So I think when this Po was making noodles with his father, he was not that the same person who his father wanted him to be, or his father dreamt of him. My father actually said he was forced to be eye doctor because his father, that is my grandfather of Natarajan, was eye doctor. And he said, he told me, you are very good in physics because I got a physics prize in school. He said, why not you do? And later I come to know Charles Keepham, Steve Charles. Steve Charles is a professor of aeronautical engineering. My other good friend is Mark Wine. He did his thesis on artificial retina chip in MIT. And we have Dr. Ashana here. She said she's got a double degree, her MD and MPH, and when she was in Tufts University. I think you decide whom you choose to be. And finally, Three Idiots says your degree doesn't matter, qualification doesn't matter, your mind and what do you want, and finally you get the thing. So I want to acknowledge, you can see Dr. Ashiani here with Dadaji, and Dr. Aishwarya here, who just finished her fellowship, Dr. Dishita Rathod, who is there, and Dr. Abhishek Satdev, all are here, and Lakshmi is there, who helped me to make, and I interact with them day and night. So and thank you for making this presentation. And that's the team, Aditya team. We are the part of the optometrist, we have foundation, and this is the picture made by my fellow Dr. Dr. Rishi Bharadwaj, who is now practicing in Gurgaon, and he made this. And I thought this is a picture of Kung Fu Panda and how ignorant I was for 6 years. And now I realize this is the Master Shifu. And I now know why he called me Master Shifu, because Master Shifu is very strict disciplinarian. So I think that's why he made me a Master Shifu. So Stephen, I'll just run through one last little presentation I have.
Yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay, I'll just run through because that's the main thing which I want to convey.
Yeah, yes, sir. And go ahead.
Oh. In the meantime, what's the name? Stephen, any questions they have, or if they're in the chat? I have not seen the chat now. Or Dr. Dishita can go through the chat to see. You can see the slide? No.
I can't see the slide, sir. I can't see.
One second. Now?
Yeah, we can see, sir. Clear. It's clear.
Okay. So this is the COVID-19. Thanks to Sijita and Lakshmi and my entire team for preparing it. They called it Corona Effect. And I wanted to say that these are the various international webinars I did with Brazil. I started webinars on March 28. I don't know. I lost count. I don't know how many she's done. And then you can see there are so many So I have actually told Dr. Dishita was part of this WhatsApp vision syndrome, which I said. And I did my first public webinar on April 10th. Thanks to NTOD for that. So I've introduced a new term of WhatsApp vision syndrome in this COVID time, and I want to publish it. I'm struggling to do that. But there are a lot of vision syndrome, digital vision syndrome, computer vision syndrome, all published. And also, I want to combine the and then I did several optometry webinars. So I've interacted, and with the Zeiss, with the I think it goes on. And then the internationally with the Retina World Congress. And this is what I love, leadership development program. Thanks to Chitra Ramurthy, who's the chairman, academic and research committee, now Dr. Namrata Sharma. And then this is the COVID times, which All India Ophthalmic Society we did. And this is ophthalmic practice. And this I loved because I was a part of the international panel along with the ICO chief and the National Eye Institute in New York when they were doing the COVID-19 and global eye health. And I spoke about where are we now and lessons learned from eye health delivery in India. And this is again, All India Ophthalmic Society gave this opportunity along with West Bengal reality check during retina practices. And I'm glad to see everybody struggling, but I think we are coming out with solution. And then thanks to Dr. Malingam, who's also there, and I did it with Bangladesh. And I wanted to say, during this COVID, I think we have these publications in Indian Journal, thanks to Dr. Akshay Nair, thanks to Dr. Santosh Honavar, and then we did this diabetic retinopathy with Dr. Rajiv Raman, and all are peer-reviewed journal. And then this is again from the preventing COVID and its sequelae. There is no magic bullet. And this is a 200 glorious years of eye hospital. All consists on managing Viziratna and UVN practice along with the Vitreoretinal Society. So we have made several projects to Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Biotechnology, Industry Research Assistant Council. I think Dr. Stephen, we should work with the Chettinad University, and you have a lot of experts who are part of that BIRAC, where we can work. We are also working with the Center for Cellular and Molecular Platform, UK India Science and Technology Endowment Fund, Board of Research in Nuclear Sciences, which is and proposals apart from government, Indo-US grant submitted in 2019. We are reviewing. So every Thursday we have a meeting with the Cleveland Case Western University. We are working with the. So I have a meeting with the research from Australia, Singapore, America, and Hong Kong, Japan, and me in Mumbai. You know what is the time of the meeting? 6:30 in the morning. And I have a webinar at 1:30 in the morning with Egypt, US, and so I have done webinars 6 in the morning, night 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then we are also glad to say that we are going to do the first phase 1 clinical trial in India, which has not been done in anything in any field in medicine, and which is a molecule called FAP201. And again, the company is in Madras, and which it's a non-disclaimer thing, so we will do when we do it. And we are also made manuscripts, and we were part of the RO in the University of Ophthalmology and Vision Science, cost-effective integration of diabetic retinopathy screening in the public health system, clinical profile and visual outcome of pellet outcome is still and also the AO abstract we have sent for, but yesterday I got 2 are rejected. Doesn't matter. And then this is All India Ophthalmic Society website, and then we have made a tele-ophthalmology, and then we also, this is what we called, and then for diabetic patients we made a tele-diabetic clinic. We have made a tele-counseling clinic. I am glad to say Dr. Nishita Iyer is a clinical psychologist. We have Swati Arun, who's a clinical psychology student, who's a BA psychology, studying her final year. She's a part of the psychological team because we want to counsel. So we can protect ourselves. We're not survival. We are enjoying, and I think we have to adapt and then love. And we have the 5 P's: perseverance, persistence, prayer, patience, and then positive thinking and perfection. So only thing I word of caution of perfection is I attended a Shiv Kera's lecture, and he said, if somebody wants to be positive, put a hand up, a perfect hand up. So I put the hand up. There were over 150 CEOs, and the cost of the course was 70,000. And then he ridiculed by saying, oh, here is a man who's perfect. You know what is he? He's the most insane, he said. I felt insulted. And I realized he told nobody can be perfect except God. And God, if somebody wants to be perfect, he's going to play God. And he says, you are a man because you are imperfect. And he says, you can work for continuous improvement. So we are working on continuously finding positive ways to express feelings such as fear and sadness. So I want to tell, be happy every time I tell. And you are hired or fired, be happy. Engage yourself in a creative activity such as playing or drawing, and a chance to spend time with parents. I spend time with my grandmother, connected on social media. I have time for everything. I operate, I go to hospital, I conduct a consultant meeting, I conduct a research meeting. I'm continuously on phone calls and video calls, Zoom call, Google Meet, go to webinar, whatever, so many things. So be busy. And I think you should be so busy that you don't have time, but you eat in time, exercise in time. That means physical, mental, as the WHO says, do the spiritual way. Keep away yourself from negative emotion. If anybody comes with negative, you find a way how to get out of it by listening to music, reading, watching an entertaining program on television. Anyway, I don't like television. So I see TED Talks in YouTube, and I also started seeing even actors like Aishwarya Rajan, who's a young actor, and she says she lived in the slum housing board in Tamil Nadu, in Madras, how she became an actor and her problems, and the other one, I forgot her name. whatever. So I keep seeing all their how they grew up in life, how they come up in life, and TED Talk. Rediscover hobbies, eat well, drink plenty of fluids to boost your immunity, and not only that. If people are 60 plus, I think they are rating. If you don't drink enough fluid, you'll have a mental clogging, and which is a part of dehydration. And my mentor, I miss him in the gym. He told me, Dr. Natarajan, you need only oxygen and water. And I always wonder what the hell he talking about. But it's true. For brain is made of 95% water. You need protein, many things. You need amino acid, all that. But what I'm saying, all that will come from your regular food, whatever you're eating with the good supplements. But what is important is you do whatever the yoga to improve your lung function. If you have an excellent lung function, you'll have excellent oxygen. That means you need air, and that's what is the principle of exercise. And if you have good lung function, corona cannot come to you because corona wants to attack your lung. And second is if you have fluid, one is you think well. That means the brain metabolism is active. So you have to do physical exercise, mental exercise, and that's why I took this opportunity. I loved Stephen for giving this talk, and this is what we have done in the hospital. I'm sure you are doing the same in Chettinad. You look like a ghost, and I think this ghost is probably, I don't know whether me or Dr. Jaydeep. Looks like, I don't know, Jaydeep, I think, or me. I don't know, I myself can't recognize now. So I'm happy with our team, Aditya Jyoth team. I don't know, Lakshmi is there, she should tell me who coined this. C for take care while performing, that is as an optometrist or ophthalmologist. O is optometry workup, such as refraction, ophthalmic, I think our optometrists have made it, ophthalmic evaluation, and N for do not touch your eyes, face, and A, avoid risk of infection. So I say have 100% protection, no question of 99% protection. And stay safe, be happy, spread happiness. So finally, I quote this slide, take up on one idea, and I want you to consolidate. If somebody can volunteer and tell you have taken up one idea, and please tell in the panel discussion, make that one idea your life. I have done that. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let that brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. And this is the way to spiritual success. That's what he's mentioned, and that spiritual has been removed for you people. And I think spiritual and working, everything is same according to me. And that is Swami Vivekananda says. And for me, I breathe in and breathe out vitreous, which is part of ophthalmology. And the word vitreous is there in every toilet. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity and for the time. And I lost myself with the time. So now I ask Dr. Stephen to bring in Dishita, Dr. Dr. Mahalingam, Dr. Abhishek, and Dr. Ashiana, and anybody else from your faculty. The first choice is to you, Dr. Stephen.
So you can start, sir, no problem. So first of all, I will congratulate Dr. Natarajan for his wonderful presentation. And it was a mind-blowing one, and we all got charged instantaneously. And I also, in this juncture, wish to inform you that we once again revamped our MOU with the Aditya Jyoti Eye Hospital with Chettinad University. So I'm happy to inform you that the MOU has been again, the second part of MOU is extended. So we hope that we will do much more things this time, because last time we didn't have much disciplinary interact, but this time I wish.
Stephen, I want to congratulate you for the MOU. From the talk, the lesson is forget the past. So my suggestion is you are the one who have the important, salient, positive points from your MOUs. 5 years the MOU was there, and even though Dr. Pandurangan, I don't know, I sent a message to him last minute. Dr. Pandurangan initiated it. Later you took it over, and you reminded me there is already an MOU which I forgot. So I have to, like American, like Dr. Badinath says, I bite my words. So I have to bite. So the positive part of your whatever statement I'm converting. This is what law of attraction and subconscious mind book says. Your words, and then the Rhonda Byrne says, convert the same statement. I'm converting. You renewed the MOU, so congratulations to you. You took me to the research director, research Chettinad University. You took me to the vice chancellor. You took me to the other departments. and we also discussed with the previous head of the various basic science department. So I want to tell, we have already started working from yesterday in my mind. I want to apply for BIRAC project. Sidita, I don't know whether she's on the line, whether she's there or not. We can have multiple people, like Bishita is doing something. We can involve Bishita to start writing grant. What is her interest with Chettinad, with Abhishek sitting in Jammu, and Dr. Malingam running a healthcare academy. So I'm sorry for interrupting you. We are already started working, and thanks to you, Stephen. And I want the students to know, in spite of all the thing, I know, like Dr. Adnan, I saw him in the group. He was the first one to bring me long time back. I remember at that time, I think you only made him say that I have to be treated like a superstar, and really sent him early morning to my house and to bring me. And then later I find his father was my colleague in the 1982 when I did my PG. So I think I'm happy to say that we are already working together. And I wanted to compliment the founder of Chettinad University, because when I visited Chettinad University, the campus reminds me of Stanford. And I want to tell you, 5 years back, we could not publish the work. 5 years back, I worked with Mark Blumenkrantz, who was the chairman. And then the previous chairman was Dr. Michael Marmer in Stanford. We did the first mobile phone application using the thing by, I forgot the Chinese name, Tom or Tim, I forgot his name, in Stanford, where the company, also I forget the name of it, sorry. I think I'll drink more water. So the company, where I don't know, somebody can help me. Oh, okay, what was the name of the company? We worked with them. They gave the software. Unfortunately, the company has closed down that activity and started something else now. They made an iPhone application, and with an adapter of the iPhone, they were the first to make the DR screening. But the only problem they did was you have to dial it. But still, I perseverantly, Dr. Sunita Mohan was there, and she was the RO scholar selected, and I'm very proud. She was mentored by another RO mentor. I'm happy now. I am taken at that role. I am mentoring RO, and I'm the research student is from Israel. And so I thought, why not mentor our own people without calling any big name like this? So I hope to mentor whoever wants to ask me question anytime, and I'm ready to answer. So Chettinad University, you are already there, and I already had a basic science idea, and you have already sent a case report, which we will do it jointly. Maybe Dr. Vimal will do it, and you have to be at them. So put a postgraduate who will eat Dr. Vimal Fadnawala's head. Similarly, put one particular. How many postgraduates do you have, Stephen?
Right now, 10, sir.
Okay, so 10 of them should be given 10 topics to eat my head. So once in 10 days, every day one person can call me. I'm not joking. Eating the head because I have 100 things going on. I will at least tell sorry, and I think it's better to be sorry at that moment, and at least it'll give me some homework to do, because I have enough time now, and I'm thinking
Definitely.
I'm wasting minutes a day. So why can't I work with all the 10 postgraduates? So you are already doing. So you can probably you can ask some questions to me based on the talk. Or are you happy now after the talk?
Yeah, I'm feeling really recharged, and my mind is open to great extent. We all enjoyed your talk. I hope other colleagues of mine enjoyed this talk. And of course, our students, MBBS, as well as, because MBBS students are almost in a house arrest.
Stephen, who's the youngest in your group now attending?
In the faculty, sir, or PG?
The one entire this webinar. Who's the youngest?
Maybe any student of third year, maybe 20 or 21 years of age.
Well, can you ask somebody to ask question, introduce themselves, so that they can get out of their inhibition?
Yeah, because our students are being locked down for more than 4 months, and they're not coming out of their houses, and they are their mind,
so
everything is going on in virtual.
No, they can come in the webinar now and ask questions.
Yeah. Anybody,
or even somebody should have the guts to criticize, sir, it was boring, or this is not good.
Ronak Agarwal, are you there? Ronak.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
This is okay.
Yeah, can you introduce? Who is that?
Sir, Rajkumari, sir. My name is not coming. Nothing. Okay. Sir, first and foremost, I thank our HOD, Dr. Stephen, for arranging this things, lecture. It was really mind-blowing, sir. Professor Natarajan, sir. I think you know me, no, sir, Rajkumari.
This Madam Rajkumari, Madam, sir, she was in GOH.
Video early, அதான் தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது.
Oh,
பரவாயில்ல, sir. So first and foremost, I think I should be the youngest when you are asking, no, who was the youngest? Because, sir, the way you're, I mean, the lecture, I think 24 hours is not enough for you, sir. What all you have been doing, no, I think all of us, especially we have all crossed 50, no, sir, we have to take a leaf out of you, and we should, because this, as you say, in Corona, old people only will be attacked and all. I think, no, the way you're going that stream, no, sir, I think we will also follow you, and we should, the thing is, we should always be working, continuously working. So we will never always have this positive attitude, never think of this negative thing. I think that is a very good thing which I have learned from you now, sir. You are really mind-blowing, sir, your lecture today. So I really thank you, sir, and I thank Dr. Stephen for arranging this. It has given me especially a good thing, which I think I'll also practice from. Anyway, thank you, sir.
No, Dr. Rajkumari, I'm very happy you
Yes,
came
sir.
forward. 50 is young only, so I'm only 18.
Okay, sir. I think both of us are only youngsters among the others, I think.
No, Dr. Rajkumari, I think I'm very happy.
Yes,
You
sir.
mentioned that. No, I think it's a very good. I'm happy because I see some fruits from my talk. This is what I'm impressed by Dr. Kalam. And today morning also I was listening to Dr. Kalam's talk. He was mentioning about when he was in the second year MIT, he had to go to Rameshwaram because there was a storm, and his family called him, and he said he didn't have money to go. I was in tears listening to that. He said he went to Moor Market. He got a 400 rupees book as a gift, and 400 rupees in those days, I think 1957, I think the year I was born. So he said he went to Moor Market, and that shop owner was a Iyer, he said, with the kudmi. The kudmi is what, yeah? What to say in English?
Yes,
The,
sir.
like the Chanakya.
Yes, sir.
Like the Chanakya, huh? Shendi in Hindi is telling, my boy is telling. Okay. So what I'm saying, the point here is he said that A.L. Mudaliar, I remember because everybody knows A.L. Mudaliar because he was the vice chancellor of Tamil Nadu, sorry, Madras University, and he was professor for him, I believe. So anyhow, he gave the gift prize of 400 rupees book. He told some physics book name, and he studied in Madras MIT, that is Madras Institute of Technology in Croppack. And he told that 400 rupees he wanted to sell with tears. He went to the Moor Market. Unfortunately, Moor Market is demolished. And the Moor Market, I think the shopkeeper was a Brahmin who told, you keep the book. Looks like you are a very studious boy. You do well in life. But you give, he said, how much money you want to go to Rameshwaram and come back? He said, only 60 rupees. He said, I will give you 60 rupees. You come back and use the 60 rupees and take the book back. I will not sell it. And then I remember, that's why I told, 50 rupees this book is available in the Matunga. You know that similar shops are there in Matunga platform. That they will keep the old books and sell. Anyhow, he came back, he says he returned the money, he took the money from his family, returned the book and taken it back. And he said, then only got his life back. And that's why he says you have to keep reading a lot. Otherwise, you have to have a friend who reads a lot. So I have Shivanandan as my friend who reads a lot. From that, I pick up points and tell. So Rajkumari, what you have told is important because I think I'm happy if I can impress. That's what I used to tell Dr. Badna. In any lecture, you impress one person in the whole crowd, maybe 1,000 are sitting. I think one person you impress, that is important. That means we have impregnated that heart with a seed. It will grow as a tree. And that's
Thank you, sir.
So under banyan tree, people say it can't grow. And I think Dr. Badnath was a great, we can't compare him with banyan tree, but I think he was a great person who put seeds everywhere. I remember Shankaracharya telling him several times because me and Dr. Badnath examined Chandrasekhar Swamigal in Bombay, and we have seen how they talk. Because the word Shankara Netralaya was given by Shankaracharya, Chandrasekhar Swamigal, and also the other man, I forgot his name. Jayendra Swami. So I think the whole idea at that time was 1,000 Badrinath should come. And I think he has done it. Our alumni is more than 1,000. And that's what he has done. So similar thing I want. I think whatever I have done, somebody should excel me. So we have a saying, Madam Rajkumari, தெரியுமா அது?
சொல்லுங்க சார் தெரியல
என்ன புள்ளி the son tiger jumps 8 sorry father tiger jumps 8 feet like me
தாய் 8 அடி பாஞ்சா
16 feet. So Stephen should jump now 30 feet.
So I'm also happy to be a part of alumni of Shankar Nethralaya, sir. I did my Ratan Tata fellowship there in 2006.
Oh, very great.
So I am also a part of alumni of Shankar Nethralaya. Thank you very much for reminding me that, because I often forget that.
No, you should. No, that is why I've included. Then we should have it. The forms are with Mohan Rajan and J. Vishwas. You should take it and become member. 1st August is our 30th anniversary. We have our 31st Shankaratala Alumni Scientific Meet.
Thank you. Definitely, I will try to join next time.
Sir.
So any students, Ronak Agarwal, are you there? Mahinder, Ajay Sibi, any of you can ask doubt to Professor Natarajan. It's your lifetime opportunity to interact with a person like this. Anybody can. Yeah.
May I add something, sir? So it's a compliment. It's a huge compliment to Professor Natarajan. You know, he talks, right? You're watching a PowerPoint presentation, but his life bears witness to what he talks about. And that is what matters. So how we happened to fortuitously meet was there was an email going out, and he took the opportunity out of his busy schedule to send me an email to introduce himself, an email to tell me, sort of praise the work that I'm doing. And that is something, right? You don't know someone else, but you take the moment in your life to appreciate someone else. You take the moment roses. And that, my friends, is Dr. Natarajan. So what you saw, though it was awe-inspiring to the ultimate, when you see his life, that is what we should take from this, is his life bears witness to that. We must all follow in those footsteps.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind words.
And no, I want to tell about Dr. Ashiana. She had an illustrative career in the US, and she just quit and come to Mumbai, India. And you know, India troubled her by not giving her registration for 1.5 years. Did not allow her to practice. And she is practicing 2 kilometers from me, and I didn't realize it. And I'm yet
you know, sir. As I was listening to you, I pulled up a video. Do you mind? Do you have 90 seconds? Can I share this video?
Yeah.
Because no, it's not about me. It's about what you talked about. Okay, so nothing. Ignore the me in all of it, and realize that the idea is that the difficulties that you go through, right? A year and 9 months of not having a medical registration here in India versus having an American Board of Ophthalmology registration in the US taught me that no matter what it is, you follow your dreams. Knock on the door of opportunity. And that's what you taught us today. So this is just a case example of you, sir. So I'll just share it. May I share the screen?
Yeah. You can please.
It's saying host disabled attendee share screen share.
Her name is Ashiana. That is, I think, Ashiana Nariani.
Yeah, just say you as a co-host, madam. You can now share it.
Okay, perfect. So 90 seconds of your time, okay? If it may just enhance what you taught us. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay.
In the house. Her name is Dr. Natarajan. Did I get the name right? She's a doctor from the US. This part, you should be.
You're not able to hear. You couldn't hear the.
I just want to say what
an inspiration Modi ji and
Oh, yeah,
yourself
now
are
we
to
can.
me for many youngsters. I come from the United States, and through the guidance of my master, Sadhu Vaswani and Dada Vaswani, I've left a life in the United States to come here and serve the underserved as an eye surgeon, as my vehicle of service. And as you say, there is so much that you all are doing. You're moving mountains and making a positive difference. Today, I like to say that I would like to follow in your footsteps in my small way and make a difference to the people of our India.
Thank you so much. What an inspirational.
Who was the first one next to you?
Yes,
Asha?
so that was Shri Piyush Goyal. He was the
No,
prime minister.
Right.
And the host was I guess a big name author in India, who was the host of the event. And it just happened to be that after a year and 9 months of me going from pillar to post, and saying, no matter what, if it takes me 10 years to get my certification to be able to practice and serve the underserved in India, I will do what it takes. And it just happened to be how the universe makes it happen that I met Shri Piyush Goyal. And after that, I was then put in touch with the Prime Minister Modi's flagship team, who then made it happen without, my feeling is that if I'm going to do something, it has to be pure, and without money under the table, it has to be pure, as if God was in front of me. And so pure as I could, I met the director of the flagship of Narendra Modi, who put me in touch with the Secretary General of Medical Council of India. And within 10 days, they gave me medical registration in India. And they said, on behalf of India, we apologize that we were unable to give it to you, and that we prevented you from serving India for so long. So the idea is that no matter what happens in your life, knock on the door of opportunity. Those year and 9 months taught me so much on how to be a better person, right? Every situation, every problem, if you call it, is actually a gift from God, as Dada teaches us. And if we can use that gift, if we can use the gift of COVID to learn the wisdom, the knowledge from this time, then we would have made the most, we would have received the gift.
And also, you had a illustrious career in US, and you left that and come. Why?
Why? So I think
what was that you had in hand in US?
So I believe it was a gift from God. It doesn't belong to me, it belongs to God. So I was going to stay there, up the path of doing that. I will lose the opportunity to serve those that really need my help. And so at that moment, with God hand in hand, we made the leap and we moved to India. Every day I'm being given a gift to serve the underserved in Mumbai. It has just been, every day has been a gift, and that's what I've learned.
Ashana, there are a lot of young people there. How are you managing the, what do you call, something like how to manage the daily bread? That means how do you manage the income? And you're working in, the best part is she's working in KM hospital. That means KM will not pay much. And it's a government hospital, it's a municipal hospital. And one of the oldest hospitals of India. It's called King Edward Memorial Medical College and Hospital. And I love that auditorium. And you, I don't know whether you know Ashana. I think I have two dreams to be fulfilled in Mumbai through you. One is Dr. S Cooper was the professor there in 1953, and he started Indian Journal of Ophthalmology. And he was the greatest ophthalmic researcher in those times in 1940s and 50s. And he has worked on monkeys, and also his publication is there in Indian Journal of Ophthalmology in lens protein. So I want to create a statue for him in the KEM compound. And when I did that, a lot of opposition was there. Maybe after the corona, we should work on it, or at least so something that. And then where I want to say, S.N. Cooper, because he started, today we are in 69th year of Indian Journal of Ophthalmology.
Fantastic.
And all the credit goes to him. And I released a stamp, which was released by the governor in February. At that time also I spoke about S.N. Cooper. I want to create a history museum, either in KEM, if the municipal allows, or through something we have to do somewhere. And the second is I didn't know that you are oncologist. I didn't realize, I didn't know you're an oncologist. So my dream is to create a private and for the poor an advanced oncology center, because there is an advanced oncology center in what is that hospital in Siam, the Somaya Medical College. They have they are outsourced to an Asian oncology center. That is for regular oncology, not for ophthalmology. So I want to create a first exclusive eye cancer hospital. And I have some donors, somehow they changed their mind now, but I want to do. So I want you to keep it an homework. Anyhow, I wanted to tell you that I'm in the mind.
I think your question, sir, about income and all has just been answered through your beautiful words. See, the thing is that if you have a dream and if you have a passion to do something, like you said, Swami Vivekananda taught us, right? That have one idea in mind and hold it tight. Dada Vaswani has taught me much. And one of the things he told me to answer your question about income is that whatever you're meant to get in your life, you won't get 1 rupee more than that. You won't get 1 rupee less than that. My life is not about the money, right? But God provides what I need. But when I have the opportunity to stand here face to face with you, and we're talking about potentially saving people's lives through the field of ocular oncology, so that gives us much, much more than any income would ever give us. That much more satisfaction.
That's what Dr. Badrinath did. So he was on salary lifelong, and he had the best of best in 70s. He quit that and come because of Sakaracharya. So same thing I think you are doing. Great. So we see somebody like that coming up. We hope to work together.
Yes, we are. And just a few days ago, Dr. Natarajan and I met. We apparently have known each other for years. But there was this webinar. Dr. Natarajan, may I show them for tomorrow so that they can come?
You can probably put it in the chat so that people can notice it.
Okay. Yes, I will send it across to everybody. It is a iBanking and COVID-19 tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Please do join us. Dr. Natarajan will be part of the panel, and I think it's the first of in all of the world to bring all parts of the world together on something that really will affect our field.
Sure. So, where is your youngest in the group, Stephen?
Yeah, any student, Ronak Agarwal. I called you the time itself. Are you there?
Yes, sir. So we can help we tend to forget.
Many times people are there is no road. He goes by boat and does. So glad, very good, because a lot of time when the youngsters tell like this, many people may not believe you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Why they don't believe you, you know?
They have the doctors and they have these facilities which they don't feel like it's something which we don't get. Not everyone gets.
It become many times 90% of the people talk for fashion, but they don't really mean. But you really mean. So, and the first question you asked is about appreciating yourself. Actually, Swami Vivekananda has mentioned that if you don't converse with yourself, you are missing the most important person in the life. He says, not even your teacher, not even your parent is important. You are important for yourself. And that is what I'm doing here. And I think I was telling somebody, I don't know whether I was telling of Dashan, I said, well, when I was a kid, my father used to literally come and tap my head, hey, what are you doing? Because I used to look at myself and admire. I don't know what I was admiring. I still don't know. Now, till this March, I didn't have time to, I dress up well. I dress to kill. And this is what I do. I love dressing. I have excellent ties, whatever. I mean, I love it. And I'm always happy. Raghunath appreciates you. He knows what is my new suit, new tie. And I mean, you can imagine I'm a busy man like him who will notice that. A lot of people don't notice it. Or maybe they notice, they don't even tell me. But what I'm saying, you should love yourself because Swami Vivekananda says there is God in your heart. And when you're scolding somebody else, you're scolding God. That means you should realize that when that person makes a mistake, you're actually not scolding that person, you're questioning or scolding the mistake. But in us, we mistake there and we make it personal. But here, appreciating yourself, you have to make it personal. You should, whatever you are, I think the looks are all external, but very easy to say, difficult to follow. And yesterday night, me and Dr. Ashan were trying to counsel a patient who has lost her eye with a, what do you call that, disfigured because of the injury. But we tell her that's all right. Patavadi I quote every day. Patavadi lost one eye, he was disfigured at the age of 19, and he was the Indian cricket captain, and he played 90 miles per hour bowling only by judgment, because you need two eyes for judgment, binocular vision, stereopsis. So I think loving yourself, you can see that, no? That I think that's what somebody sent me a personal message that or Rajkumari mentioned. I think you can see that I'm walking the talk and talking the walk. The meaning is I'm really what I'm doing, I'm talking, and what I'm dreaming, I'm talking, and what I've achieved, I'm talking. That means I love myself. I love my work. I love what I'm doing. If you see, many times I thank Stephen for this opportunity. Imagine, there are so many hundreds of webinars going on, and there's no webinar like this. I'm telling All India Ophthalmic Society do like this. They think that I'm going to do for my propagation. I'm not proceeding with it, but I'm going to do a leadership program. So I think it's a very good question, Ronak. I think a good Amay Tumar ka bolwasi.
Thank you, sir. We are blessed with your presence here today.
Anybody else? Anybody else want to ask some question to Dr. Natarajan? Anybody? Any girls? Any girl? Girl student? Your time is getting out. Anybody?
Dishita?
Yes,
So I
yes.
want to introduce Dishita because I know Dishita from almost 9 years old, and now she was the Miss Bangalore. She is according to me Miss Ophthalmology. So Dishita?
Yes. Yes, Dr. Natarajan, thank you for your kind words. I'd like to tell everyone I have known Dr. Natarajan since I was a child, and of course, he has been my role model. But that's not the important thing here. He has been the exact same person. His energy hasn't reduced. Every time I meet him, I feel every opportunity door opens up. So it's just so inspiring to be around him, to talk to him. And even in these times, like he said, I just finished my fellowship and I haven't actually been working anywhere. So through this, he has been a constant guiding source, guiding light for me. So thank you very much, Dr. Natarajan. And
I'm very
of course,
happy
all of
that Dishita not to go to US. She went and did her 2 months internship in New York. And,
I did my clerkship for about 3 months, and then I realized that I have to come back because this is where the true my heart lies here. So I'm back here in India.
Not only that, you went to pediatrics that time, and I
At
remember.
that time, yes.
Pardon?
Yes, I did. I did my clerkship in pediatrics at that time, and just didn't feel right. So I'm back here doing
No,
ophthalmology.
I
Like,
told
and Dr. Natarajan was the first person to actually tell me. He would see me even as a kid and keep telling me, "Here's our future ophthalmologist," and I never really believed him until one day I actually realized that is my true calling. So yeah.
So I'm happy. Many people have convinced to become, not convinced, I think impressed to become from a
Yes,
ophthalmologist.
impressed would be the right word. Yes.
Abhishek?
Yes,
He
sir.
left. Abhishek.
Good afternoon.
He's like,
Sir, good afternoon, everyone, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, proceed, Abhishek.
Sir, yes, sir. So, sir, Natarajan, sir, has been inspiring as always. Sir, I have met him since last 1 year. I have been like in some conferences and other things, and he has like this is really true that he's really kind of motivated me so much that he's kind of changed my life, and now I'm very eager to join him as for fellowship in retina.
Congrats for your future endeavors.
And not only that, all of them I didn't meet them before, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we are hearing the testimonies of live testimonies, sir. We are seeing the live testimonies of your followers and fans. And I request one more student, and we will end this meeting. Ajay Sibi, are you there? Ajay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can ask Professor Natarajan or any panelist any doubt. If any question you want to ask, you can ask.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've been listening to your lectures. It was so nice, sir. And you're like really super cool, sir. Can you just say how you have been, like, even though in the tough situations or in this time, how you went? Can you just say, sir?
How you
are like really cool and you're able to in your toughest times, even though you said 24 hours, you're keeping yourself so.
Ajay, where are you from?
I'm from Chennai, sir.
Chennai dana. La adi mela adiyana cool illa. So I'm Ashana. So I'm just telling him in Tamil that you get beaten up in life and you realize what you are. So I've taken enough beatings in life and I've taken it happily, and I don't take it as a punishment. I don't know what. I also don't know what is the meaning, because when I got Dr. Badrinath as my mentor, I told him, I always write to him, it's my Purva Janma Punya. That means in the previous birth I've done something good. That's why I become your student. So when I had that opportunity, same thing. I've done some whatever Purva Janma something. That's why I had blows in my life. So I think that only thing, my father converted that from my school to colleges. Whenever you get blows, I think you should take it and also face it strongly. And I think you don't become thick-skinned. I think you should become resilient. That means you should take what you call jump back. And I think that's where I want to quote Muhammad Ali. He's mentioned many times. He says, you are not defeated when you are fallen down, when you are kicked in the kickboxing, you are boxed and put you down. He says, when you don't get up at count 9, then you are quitting. That means if you are mentally quitting, you're gone. And I think it's important. I was a long distance runner. I actually went to be a 400 meters runner, but I became a long distance runner. So I used to do that wind sprint. I don't know whether you know what is wind sprint. After doing 24 rounds of 400 meters, that means almost completing 9 kilometers and 600 meters, 9.6 kilometers. Last 400, you have to do wind sprint. That means that fellow will run fresh 400 meters. You have finished 9.6 kilometers. You have to race with him and win him. And I've done that. So that gave me the courage that, okay, you can, but now I hate, what is that new thing of marathon. Somehow I hate, I do marathon surgery. I can give marathon talks, but I don't like marathon running. I don't know why. I'm prejudiced, it will harm your bones or whatever. But I think I'm fit. And as Dr. Rajkumari said, mentally, I think the mental exercise makes you good. So how you take the muscle gets injured, and then when you sleep, the muscle rejuvenates. Same thing in about life. When you get a blow, don't sit there crying. Maybe any blow will be painful. You have to sit down and cry. Whatever, do it. But after that, get up. Get up with vigor, energy, and don't show vengeance to that person who has done something. You do something to the life and do good to others. And I think that's what I have done. And I have done good to people who have actually done harm to me. I mean, our own somebody wrote against me for an income tax rate, and I had an income tax rate. I had a call from underworld. I went to Kashmir. I did surgery when during that. No fear. So that somebody has asked a question to me. I told them I've given my email ID. How to remove fear? One way I did is I keep chanting Om Namah Shivaya or whatever you like. And that may sometimes you tell in mind, still the bad things, some threatening comes to you. But if you chant in such a way, and or you pray so strongly, whether Allah or Jesus, whatever you want. And I think if you are not able to do it in mind, do it openly in the terrace, I tell them, or go to the sea or a beach, or if terrace is easy because everywhere to be available, or anywhere. Or go to your room, lock your room, and go to the toilet and shout whatever you want to do. Then automatically by sound, you can remove the fear. And when this Robert Sharma has given an incentive, if you remove fear from life, your skin color changes, your texture changes, and you grow younger. And that's what I'm doing. I eat chilies, I dance, I chant, and I also remove fear. No fear. So that's why I can go to anywhere, and I can go to Kashmir. I went to Assam when Ulfa was active. I've gone to Sri Lanka when LTP was active, and no problem. And everybody asks, what will happen if they put a bomb? I tell them, I take their good luck, and I say, I save everybody. I mean, even in the plane, I said, I go there, I change the luck. So why can't you have the conviction? Why you want to say somebody will keep the bomb and you will die? No, because God wants you to serve, no? You serve. And you should see that movie, 120, it's a YouTube movie on 153-year-old longest living Indian now. His name is Swami Sivananda. And our Virtual Bharat has made a movie. And he himself, there are some 2-3 movies on YouTube. Longest living 123-year-old man. He is written, he is a vegetarian and he's happy. And he is living long only to serve God. And he says he has no desire. And I think because of that, he's saying, I'm happy. Anyhow, I have confusion in this because to serving others is also one desire to get. So I don't know. Anyhow, I think at least it's selfless. So according to me, it's all right. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was so very nice.
I can say something. Mahalingam was a very right hand to Dr. Badrinath. And he runs his own academy now called Twin Academy. Dr. Mahalingam? Is he there? Or,
Sir, good evening. Good evening to all. And thank you very much, sir. And I'm very happy that I'm interacting with you daily, 1 hour. So I'm learning myself from you still. And we will do our best for, we will support for your further dreams, and we will bring next level, sir. Whatever your dream.
Yes. Sure. And anything else you want to tell about?
No, sir. It's already time over. And if anything, I give them my number. Let the people call. We can talk to them.
Sure. And anybody else wants to? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll come to the end of this meeting. It's a wonderful session. I thank all the panelists, Dr. Ashiana, Dr. Dishita, Dr. Mahalingam, and of course, our one and only Professor Dr. Natarajan. It was a mind-blowing session. We all enjoyed. I hope all the students, PGs, the faculties, the other people are watching all enjoyed this wonderful show. And this show will be in our minds for a very long time. And we will take positive things from it. And we'll try to move on from wherever we are to a great extent. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. And thanks especially to Dishita, Ashiana, and Abhishek and Dr. Mahalingam. And Stephen and all your team.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll convey.
And anybody wants either undergraduate or postgraduate for anything, either they can email me, call me. I've put my phone number also there. Definitely. And plus, if I'm busy, I may not answer immediately. I'll answer later. And in case you want a postgraduate alone want to talk to me, like have any scientific discussion or like a class or any difficult case to discuss, I'm open. Because fortunately, I see next 6 months, even if you're going to hospital daily, we'll have 1 hour for these academic activities.
Definitely, we'll make use of all these things what you have told, sir, because we are also not much of patients are coming because of this COVID, and we'll try to make use of this time as a learning time, and we'll try to. Anyhow, we have a MOU agreement also is there, so that
Yes.
makes us to be more frank and more what to say, more formal.
Great.
So I'll definitely make use of it as advice, and our PGs are also listening here.
Yes.
So I thank you once again for this wonderful show and your acceptance for inviting. I mean, acceptance for this talk. Thank you all the panelists and all the other students, postgraduate, other faculties.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, finally, Chetinath.
Thank you. Thanks for the management also for giving this opportunity to conduct a guest lecture of this magnitude for the benefit of all the people. Thank you, sir.